Hey, a lot of us as men got to accept that there's really not too much that we can do for women. I mean, you see a lot of these TikToks, women like talking about men, how they don't need them, how they can do it all themselves. Like, they don't need a man for love, commitment, for money, or whatever. And they're not wrong. They're totally right. Like, they're not even saying it as a joke half the time. Like, most of the time, they're kind of serious. Like, I could do this all on my own. So you should heed that. And you should not personalize it, but realize that in a late capitalist society, as a man, there's not much you could bring to the table if you are an average dude for a woman, let alone a good looking woman. So what I mean by this is, if you're a guy, a nice guy, you could be funny, intelligent, could even be romantic. You know, you got a job or like in school, like some kind of promise, just like some average type of dude. That is not enough for most women. You could get mad at it and be like, oh, well, women say they want love, but they don't actually want love. They want money or whatever. You can't provide what they want. Long story short, you are not enough for them. But you can't personalize that because nothing is enough for anybody's attention right now. You can't keep anybody's attention, let alone a woman in her 20s that's like working and in school or whatever. Like, how are you going to keep her attention, bro? People don't have no attention spans. Like, we watching TikTok and YouTube and shit. Like, there's no possible way you're going to stick in somebody's head for however long it takes to really, like, make an imprint on them emotionally. It's just not going to happen, bro. For the most part, 9 times out of 10, which is a lot. And why there's a mating crisis right now, or dating crisis, whatever you want to call it. There's a problem. I mean, women get everything, for the most part, that they want from men without having to have the emotional connection. So if you can't provide something more than like X random guy, especially random guy on the internet, like why would this girl that might show some kind of interest in you, why would she like really reciprocate what you're trying to get from her? Like, it's just not gonna work. So my advice is like, not try and like red pill or like black pill, whatever, like try and level up or grind like the Sigma shit. Like, don't try and like do something out of spite or anger or whatever. Just see it for what it is, bro. A lot of these girls have a lot more things going on than emotional connection. And it's like kind of grim, but like how else would they have a connection if like you, what I mean is like you gotta have a lot of free time and free space in your mind, like a lot of stability in your life to be able to love someone on a degree that you think is like real emotional connection is what I mean. Like, it's not easy to achieve that. You got to be in a good place in life, and most people are not there. And a lot of young women are just going through a lot, bro. Society is crazy right now. Like, you got to really think about it. How could you possibly be a young girl with all this attention and stimuli and stuff? Think from her perspective. Like, how could you pick someone out of the blue, or somebody that just shows up and be like, yeah, this is the one that I'm trying to like emotionally invest in? It's just like hard for them to tell. And 9 times out of 10, bro, this girl that you chasing or whatever, you can't even really tell either. A lot of times they're just pretty, or like they're doing something to make you chase them. You're not even really like, you know, you're not gonna have that connection, bro. Like, dating is hard as it is, finding your person, whatever, is hard as it is, but in these times, bro, like, let's be real. It's so obviously not just gonna come to you. You gotta work for it. Relationships and love and all that, like, you've been had to work for it, but now you gotta really put in overtime if that's what you want. But more and more people are seeing that it's like, not that it's not worth it to find someone, because I always think it's worth it. I think finding love and true connection and intimacy is like the most beautiful thing about life. But it's harder than ever to find it, so more people don't have the attention span. You see the common denominator here to pursue that, so they don't do it. They just like throw their hands up and give up, or take the second best thing, which is like internet attention for women, or porn for guys, or like a cheap version of that, like cheap romance or fast, quick sex or whatever it is. But nah, like you just can't get hard on yourself for it. Can't be tough on yourself for something that's not in your control. There's like this old, maybe it's like Greek mythology or something like that. There's like a vase that has two handles. One of them is broken and one of them is intact. So which one are you going to use to lift up the vase? Obviously, you're going to use the one that's intact. Because if you use the broken one, it's going to fall and break. Like, the moral of the story is, don't try and do things like that are out of your control and then get mad at it when it doesn't go in like your way. Like, it doesn't happen exactly how you imagined it. But like, that's because you knew from the jump that it was not going to work, bro. Like, just be real with yourself and be like, yo, if this girl is not showing me the interest or the reciprocation even after we made a connection, it's because you don't have the lasting power of something stickier like TikTok or Netflix or like a job, like a career, school. Like, these things really take up people's attention. So when you can't beat that out, you just can't get hard on yourself, bro. I could go on for days about this, but this is like something that I see all the time. And it has definitely happened with me. Like, this is why I can speak on it, because I've personalized these kinds of things before. But I'm at the point now where it's like, well, if it's not working, you can't try and make something work. Love and so on is supposed to be easy. It's supposed to just like flow and connect. So if it doesn't, that should be a sign.